Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. I'm glad you're here. Before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to all the channel members. Thank you guys so much. And I want to invite any of you that are new, this might be the first few times that you come by the channel, to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon underneath it. It would really help me in the channel out, and it'll also notify you when I get and release new videos. That was long hair. Today, I wanted to go through my EDC Fixed Blade collection and pay special attention to the knives that are made in the USA from USA made makers that really mean a lot to me. This Marcus Steelworks little crow that's made in Pendleton, South Carolina is a great knife. I haven't yet gotten a proper sheath for it yet, so it lives in this little slip, so it's not going to make this list yet. But what I wanted to do is give you my top 5 EDC fixed blades. That means small maneuverable that I will carry as a supplement to my primary carry. In this case, it is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And it will accompany my slip joint, which is in my other pocket, which today is the Lion Steel Best Man. So, EDC fixed blades that are made in America. One of my favorites is from a brand new knife maker. A knife maker who's had a lot of years in the community as a friend, as a collector, as a really cool purveyor of some of the nicest knives that I would see on the internet. Our buddy Nath Sargent. And LUC Knives, LUC Knives, is a little company that he started, and he started making fixed blade knives. And this was one of the first prototypes he made. This is a little LUC Knives Squall. It's just a rough cut on the backside, full tang of Magna Cut with these beautiful micarta pinned handles, um, super slicey edge, and just a fantastic, understated, elegant, feels right in the hand, has a very utilitarian blade, has a great heat treat, great materials, and made by somebody that it just blows my mind that someone can go from being a collector to buying a grinder, buying the machinery you need, the few machines, and actually start making knives. And Nath did that, and he's done it amazingly well. So this is and always will be one of my favorite made in America knives. Just got a special place in my heart, and I use it quite a bit. It's a fantastic knife, super slicey, and that is the LUC Knives Squall. Moving on, we come to a very economical, USA made, what I consider a small banger. Now, this knife comes if you buy it from Tops with a leather sheath. Um, I picked this sheath up at Artemis Pew Pew Holsters, and they carry these Kydex sheaths for the bull trout. This is the Tops Knives bull trout that unfortunately does have a lot of branding on it. I'm not a fan of the branding. You got the Tops logo here, which would have been fine, but then bull trout and the number here. I don't know why in God's name you need that. I don't even mind the made in the USA and the 154 CM. I just don't get this. But anyway, it cuts great. This is the bull trout in 154 CM. It is a little trout knife, a little Skinner knife, a little game knife, small game knife. But in an urban EDC fixed blade environment, it is a do anything knife. This knife is both thick enough on the spine if you need to get in and you need to do any light prying. Not that I'd recommend it. We all carry pry bars for that, little small ones. But this knife will process cardboard. It will cut through cordage. It'll cut through straps. It'll cut through paper. It'll cut through wood. Um, there's not much that I would not feel that I could get done with the bull trout. The ergonomics on this knife are really well thought out and done very, very well, where you've got this full tang knife that you have this, and it's even kind of clipped on the corner so you don't have that sharp corner coming back into your finger. But the knife is actually part of the choil. So when you get a grip on this knife, the only grip you'll get, you'd never grip it back here like this. It's designed to be handled right here, and your finger comes in very, very comfortably. You've got this clipped off corner, so you don't have to worry about that. You've got this jimping that's super aggressive that really will lock your thumb in without any question whether you're wearing gloves or not. And it's just been a little go-to EDC carry for me. It's a great knife. Guys, I want to say this is one of the few I picked up. I don't know if it was White Mountain or it might have been DLT. It's about $115. So for a made in America USA knife, it's down there, SE priced and very, very comparable. And the LUC Knives picked this up from Lefty EDC for $110. So moving on, we come to probably my biggest small fixed blade. Well, not my biggest small fixed blade, but my biggest small made in America fixed blade in this video. I've actually got the Resilience, which is a little bit bigger than this, but this is the one that I carry most. This is my Shed Knives Skur. Guys, I cannot stress to you how much I enjoy this knife, how much this knife makes me happy, how fired up I get when I get to use this knife. It is just a little donkey horse. I mean, it is built so well. It's so it's to me it's almost like a rough form factor. It doesn't feel rough. The G10 scales are left rough. They're left to look very much like micarta, even though they're G10. But Jack Billings, the CEO, head maker over there, leaves these finished out rough, whether it's the G10 or whether it's this black, to give you a little bit more purchase on that grip. And I can tell you that it not only gives you great purchase on the grip, but it looks really cool. I swapped these scales out. This was a scale swap. The scales were $19 because I came with Dayglow yellow scales, which are great for being out in the bush. The knife was $120. I picked it up at NAF sale, or you can pick it up directly at Shed Knives. It's got 4 stamps in the metal, an SK for Shed Knives, and then 2-3 for the year model 2023. Besides that, it's just a stonewashed chunk of 154 cm with this belt satin hollow grind and this super sharp cutting edge. Nice jimping that really locks your hand in. Fantastic sharpening choil. And guys, this thing is like almost a 1/4 inch thick. So to say that you could use it as a pry bar, that you could use this back pommel as a nutcracker or a coconut opener or a tent stake driver, you could really do just about anything with this little knife. And it is a small knife. So not to get into size comparisons or anything like that, but this is the Skur next to the Baby Banter. And since I've got it in my pocket, I might as well break out the Paramilitary 2 just to give you an idea of how small that knife really is, even though it is mega, mega, mega beefy. So that is the Shed Knives Skur, one of my top USA knives. I discovered them at Blade Show 2023. Have so far picked up 2 of their knives. And like I've told Jack, if he happens to watch this, when you make some small, little tiny Tanto for me and a little tiny Conquest, I like the smaller the better. But guys, this is a knife that's a little bit newer to the collection that I came across, and I was very happy to have come across it. I was amazed by the size of the knife, that it was available in the size that it was, and B, um, the materials and what it actually cost. So, guys, this is an LT Wright, who is a USA knife maker, in black micarta. This is the Frontier. The Frontier is a super small little knife. Just to give you an idea, it's going to be right about banjo sized. Um, they have a company that works with them to do kydex sheaths. So there's a very good chance that I'm going to get a kydex sheath, even though this leather sheath, it's a traditional dangler, which is not my jam, as you guys know, but it's a great pocket dropper. It sits in your back pocket great. It retains the knife great. I think this sheath, we could be able to work with it and get some things carried in the meantime. But this little knife I found at DLT Trading. It is, again, black micarta, brass lanyard area. And guys, this is a hunk of Magna Cut. So this is a full Magna Cut, super sharp spine up here in terms of sharp. What I mean by that is a 90-degree angle. This is a fire stick striking machine, or a ferro rod striking machine. And this blade is so sharp. I wasn't going to do cut tests because we're not doing really cut tests, but just to show you the wickedness of that blade. And again, this is an LT Wright. I'll tell y'all a secret. When I'm recording this, there are still, not Magna Cut, but there's still a couple of these little Frontiers available in A1 Tool Steel, I think, for $75. But this was the Magna Cut. They had this and they had the natural micarta. So once I went to the page and looked at the size and realized how small this little knife was, even though it had a leather sheath, I could not resist but grabbing it. I mean, it was like the deal of the day in terms of the way I perceive a knife and how it makes me feel and how I'm going to use it. But guys, I've had this in my back pocket or in my side pocket since I picked it up. It's a great little knife. LT Wright I'd never experienced before, but I really wanted to try one of his knives out, and I'm glad I did. So this is the LT Wright little Frontier, and it is in Magna Cut, drop point, and a fantastic knife. Which brings us to my favoriteest ever USA made knife. It's made by a friend. It's made by an artist. It's made by one of the most talented knife makers that I've had the personal privilege of meeting. Also a really kind individual, Jason Grant. So Jason started, gosh, I'd say about a year ago, fiddling around with these fixed blades. For those of you who don't know, Jason Grant is the designer of the Jason Grant gripper and the designer of the Jason Grant tripper. So he's designed and had folders produced, but he really likes to work with his hands. He's a tattoo artist by trade, but he's an absolute mixed media artist, in reality. I mean, what he's been able to do with knives, and I'm going to show you a little knife that brought me into this conversation with Jason. Bear with me, guys. So I've been following him because of the gripper, because of the tripper, what he does in knives, and he started making these little fixed blades. I noticed him posting them, and this little fixed blade he posts on his site, and this is going to one of my channel members. They've actually told me their name. I just need to find out. I need to find the name again and the address, because I think I finally got a way to ship it because it doesn't have a sheath. But this was the first rough, or one of the first little fixed blades hollow grinds that Jason made. Um, Fast forward, I'll take the smallest one out of the equation. Fast forward about 3 months, and Jason came up with the JKal design. And the JKal design can have many different blades, but the JKal is a small knife that does what Tops did so well, but even does it better. Integrates that front finger choil into the blade and the tang of the knife, so that even on a small knife, you can get a full four-finger grip. You can grip it well. You don't get fatigue in your hand. And then you can decide whether you want a Wharncliffe blade, whether you want a hollow chisel grind like this particular one is, or whether you want a traditional bevel grind. The sky's really the limit, guys, because once you've got your handle size and you settled out on the size JCal that you want, this is kind of a crazy cleaver. This is kind of like my mad cleaver. As you can tell, it's a little bit longer JCal. These are made in sunny California by the hands of Jason. This one's 7 inches. This one's 6 inches. So the handle and the actual ergos in the knife both feel very similar, and they feel good in the hand. They feel just really, really good in the hand. But the actual business end of these knives can be so different. And these are the smaller JCals. So what I'd asked Jason to do and to put together was an even smaller JCal, which again, when you look at this handle and the brilliance behind Jason's design, you've got just as much purchase on this little angry Pakuta looking knife that's just a package slicing machine. I mean, and guys, that's thick stock. This is probably not going to cut super well, but I can tell you it's plenty sharp and it's plenty pokey. But this little guy has got boom, a little different treatment on the handles here. It's actually, I don't know if you guys can tell, but if I'm not mistaken, this is Ultim that's been sanded and filed. And my JCals, by request, because of the way that I asked them to be made, are a little bit more understated. When I say that, Jason's an artist. Jason can do things with metal that I did not know was possible, and he does it with an actual file. So when you're talking about a Jason Grant JCal or one of Jason's manufactured overseas but designed here folders, the fixed blades, guys, I cannot tell you how impressed I've been with them. Again, this is the latest one I've gotten. I got it about 3 weeks ago. He started, it's got a little G stamped in it. This one is tool steel. He works with S35VN and really all types of metals. He started working with United Blanks, I think it's called Waterjet, or United Waterjet, who's actually cutting him some very generic blanks in different sizes so that he can go in and do his handle and then do the blade treatment depending on the type of blade that the client's looking for. I also think that we're going to see from Jason when he gets settled in his move that you'll see some weekly or bi-weekly drops where he'll make 10 little JCals in the style that he wants to make and then just drop them, make them available for sale. Kind of like he has done as he was piddling with it in the first place. But I think the skill and the excitement really lays in talking with him about an idea and letting him put it together for you and create you a one of a kind, super awesome, super fierce, super wicked knife. I mean, that's really the beauty of what he's able to do. But in my favorite USA made knives, the JCal is by far, these knives mean something to me, every single one of them. They are, they're special. They'll always be in my collection, and I know that they're going to be more to come. I know as Jason continues to evolve and to do his thing, there'll be some really cool things to come out of the lab, and I can't wait. I know I already want a Warncliffe, JKal, and this has been a super handy little knife. Um, I'd almost like to get this in a traditional grind. And I don't know if I told you guys this, but this one and the first one I picked up as a drop. He was just showing it on Instagram. So if you follow him on Instagram, he might have a picture of a knife. It'll be for sale. If you want to buy it, you can just say I'm in. And or you can work with him and have something commissioned to be exactly like you want. I know Doom had one, Bearded Doom, and my buddy A to Z EDC got a Doom edition, the bigger knife, but it's still a JCal. It's still awesome, still handmade in the USA, and still one of my favorite knives in the group. So, guys, that is in a nutshell my top 5 USA made EDC knives. So the Grant JCals, the Shed Knife Skur, LT Wright Frontier, the Tops Bull Trout, and then lastly, the LUC Knives Squall. Guys, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the channel members. I appreciate anybody who takes the time to come by my channel, say hey, come to a live, watch my content. It humbles me, it blows me away, and I want to thank you all very much. Last thing I'll ask is that you please look out for that guy or gal to your left. Please look out for that guy or gal to your right. Please look out for one another. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose to bait, not hate. I love y'all. Peace.